Hello everyone, my name is, let me, yeah, now it's better. Hi everyone, my name is Bowen and I want to talk about Morita therapy today with all of you. And as you know, OCD acceptance is from China, so we absorb a lot of, therapies and techniques from the East Asia, which is amazing part of the world where you can find all kinds of really interesting things to learn. And the Morita therapy is one of them, founded by the great Shoma Morita, who is a psychiatrist in Japan back in the 19th century, I presume. I don't remember it clearly, but that's not what we're gonna learn today. We're gonna learn the techniques. We're gonna get an introduction to the Morita therapy, and I hope this will help you. And this class is gonna be free for all of you, but the transcript is gonna be a membership only transcript. So if you want to see the transcript, you're probably gonna head over to just message us on Facebook or leave a comment below to learn more about the membership, which is just $10 for 3 months, and you get all the transcripts, you get daily newsletter, you get a lot of ways to ask questions to professionals and etc. So, and this video will also be posted on our new YouTube channel called Think Less Do More. So, Think Less Do More is like a very important part of the Morita therapy, and we are using that as a channel name on YouTube. So just go and search Think Less and Do More. Think Less Do More. There's no end in between. Think Less Do More, or simply go to youtube.com/c/Think Less Do More. So that's pretty much how you can do this. So for the Morita therapy, the first class is about let it be. It's not just let it be. So I wrote down something to prepare myself for this class, and I'm not gonna just read off some other people's articles. So just bear with me if I look at my computer screen once in a while to see where I am at. And so Morita therapy is one of the best ways to treat OCD, and the key of this therapy, unlike CBT or ERP, the very key of the therapy is basically 8 characters in Mandarin. It's 顺其自然为所当为, which means let it be and do what you have to do. This is the key of the treatment, and you think, oh, that's easy. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I learned Morita therapy. It's just let it be and do what you have to do. But just like many things from Asia or from the East, that if you want to really master a skill, let's start it there. The key is really simple, but if you want to master the skill, you're gonna spend decades just to understand these 8 characters, or in this case, eight elegant characters in Mandarin that means so much more than it just meets your eyes. So what I'm gonna start today is about Morita therapy, is about the let it be part. So the effectiveness of the therapy is based on your understanding, especially to the first part of let it be, because a lot of OCD patients found that the Morita therapy is not working for them because they don't understand this concept completely, and that leads to one thing, that they think the Morita therapy is just a hoax. So no one's gonna believe it, and it's just something Asian Japanese created for fun. But it's not. It's very effective, and that because the reason they think that is because they don't understand the part let it be. So for the let it be part, you have to understand that it's not just about it's just not about just let it be or let your OCD be your OCD. You cannot follow whatever the OCD says, and you cannot follow what OCD says and what OCD say. Okay, OCD wants you to do this. You're just gonna compose and do that. That's not good. That's not gonna work. So to be honest, I was kind of lazy on translating the first 4 characters, because it's not actually let it be. It means follow the nature. And in order to get this, you need to understand what nature is, which is a very broad topic, to be honest. And so we're going to talk about what nature is today and the natural order of things. Like, so what is natural orders? So natural orders are like things like morning and night, and we have sunny days, we have rainy days, and it's pretty sunny today here, and these are the orders of the nature, and it's something that we human beings have no control over because it's the force of nature. You have no control over these things, and in order to just follow the nature, you gotta understand that if someone complains about, okay, why do we have nights? I prefer days, I don't like nights. Or someone says I don't like rainy days, it's too humid, for the humidity is too much for me, so I'm not gonna have rainy days, I'm just gonna complain whenever there's a rainy day. So then he or she in this case is going against the nature, going against the natural orders, and that's doomed to suffering because they're trying to change something they have no control over. On the other hand, the human body has its natural orders as well. So like emotions, like the things that trouble people with OCD the most is emotions. It's something we have completely no control over, and the emotions, they have a progress of showing themselves, appearing, and then goes away, disappearing. And if you accept it, follow it, and it will move on according to its progress, according to its nature, and from that the emotions or the feelings are gonna start, and then it's gonna disappear. However, if you don't follow the nature of the emotion, you're doomed to suffering again because you're trying to change something you have no control over. So for example, let's say you have a huge exam coming up soon, and it's obviously very natural to be anxious or nervous at the moment, and if you don't give them any attention, it will go away and even turn into motivation for you to study and prepare. So that's a good thing. It can turn into motivation, the anxieties, the nervousness. But if you say, okay, the nervousness and the anxiety aren't supposed to be here, so I'm gonna do whatever I can to go against the nature of my emotions and say, okay, I shouldn't have these feelings. And you try to get rid of them, but you can't because they're not something you have control over, and you only end up getting worse. So that's a good example about controlling emotions. Let's see another example. We have a patient with social anxiety. Let's say we have a patient with social anxiety, and he is shy and feels very uncomfortable talking to strangers, which I presume some of you gonna resonate with him because you might have some similar issues, but that's okay. But this person thinks he shouldn't be like this, so he tries to be real comfortable when talking to strangers. And what's going to happen here? He's only going to get more and more nervous to the point that he can't even talk to his friends calmly because he tried to, okay, I can't be nervous. He tried to tell himself that, but it's something he have no control over, and it's only gonna get worse. The only reason he developed these symptoms this far is due to he's going against his own natural orders. He's shy, and shy people aren't as open as others, which is pretty obvious. And so when they talk to strangers, they get nervous, they get anxiety, which is super normal. And it's acceptable, but he doesn't accept himself for being shy, so he continues to fight his own natural orders. Thus, it ends up being worse and worse, and he starts to develop symptoms for OCD, for social anxiety, and it gets worse. So for us, the human beings, another natural things we have is those weird or dirty or even disgusting thoughts. We call them intrusive thoughts here. And intrusive thoughts are like feelings or emotions. They have their own progress of showing up and goes away. So it builds up energy and it goes away. They have, if you accept its existence and acknowledge them, acknowledge them as meaningless, intrusive thoughts and don't give them a shit, and then it will stop affecting you because it will disappear very soon, instead of just hanging around. If you just say, okay, I can't have these intrusive thoughts, they're too weird, they're too dirty, they're too disgusting for me to have, so I'm just not gonna have them. If you do that, those thoughts are gonna stay with you for a long time, and yeah, you're gonna suffer for a while. But on the contrary, like I said, the more you notice the thought, the more you debate with the thought, the more you struggle with it. I really love examples, so here we go, another one. So let's say we have a straight A good student with a very good, is hardworking and studies so hard and get all the good results from tests, like I said, straight A student. And one day during the class, he had a thought about, okay, I'm gonna kill this teacher. So this thought scared him so much because he's like, okay, why am I thinking about this? It's not reasonable. I'm a good student. I'm not supposed to think like this. So he started to blame himself. He tried to figure out why did he have this thought, and he tried to figure out why. And this is how you develop an obsession, because the reason for the students to have this thought is actually really simple. So that maybe the teacher is really strict recently about the exam coming up. So it's pushing a lot of pressure onto the student's mind. And to have this thought, having this thought is nothing more than a way for the student to blow off some stress in their subconscious. So they just have this thought. And it's not like they're going to kill the teacher. They just have to use some ways to blow off some stress. So in that way, if the student understands the reason behind the appearance of this thought, this intrusive thought, he might not pay much attention to this thought, and therefore he might not develop a new obsession, which is very important if you have OCD. If you have an obsession, it's going to lead to compulsions, and it's going to lead to a vicious cycle. So if you stop at the first and realize, okay, it's just a normal thought, then you're not going to have any trouble dealing with it, and there's not going to be compulsions coming afterwards, which is really nice. So we spent all the time today talking about the meaning of the phrase, of the word nature in the phrase follow the nature. So how are we going to follow the nature? So it's actually really simple as well. This is based on so you have to do this based on the understanding of what we just talked about, nature, and try to pay less attention to those thoughts and emotions, which has their own natural progress of showing up and disappear. So we have time for one last example today. So if we think our mind as a peaceful, level space surface of a lake surface, it's so level, it's so peaceful, and let's say the ripple are the intrusive thoughts and the feelings that are bothering us all the time. And my question for you is, what can you do to stop creating ripples? Are you gonna keep throwing stones? Like I said, because throwing stones into the river to cause ripple is like having intrusive thoughts, paying attention to those intrusive thoughts, those feelings, and giving attention to these negative things that is supposed to just go away by itself. So if you're gonna keep throwing stones into the river, into the lake, it's never gonna be peaceful anymore, because you keep paying a lot of attention to this something that you're not supposed to pay attention to. So in order to remain peaceful, you have to just do nothing. And by doing nothing, you're not creating ripples, and the lake surface stays peaceful that way. And therefore, that's really the simplest explanation of following the nature, because doing nothing here is following the nature, and it's let it be, it's just let it be. So that's a quick example about this. So in order to follow the nature, this first part work and help you with your OCD obsessions and compulsions, you need to use the second part, which is do whatever you have to do. That means following the nature. You also need to focus on your real life. If you have to work, go work. If you have to study, go study. If you have to chat with someone, go chatting. So stop thinking about those thoughts and paying attention to them, because like I said, they have a natural process of showing up and disappear, while only if it's not going to be that normal if you're going to pay a lot of attention to it, and that's going to create more problems here. So the only thing we got to do here today and remember is that you may feel bothered by your feelings and intrusive thoughts, and you might even feel pain. But if you have faith in what we learned today and that these thoughts and feelings will go away really soon, and try to put yourself into whatever you need to do, like the phrase is saying, do whatever you need to do, then these thoughts and feelings will disappear. No matter what no matter what you're doing actually in real life, whether you're working, whether you're studying, it will go away. So that's what we're gonna learn today. That's a basic introduction to Morita therapy, which is a very, very important therapy from the East, and it's very useful to treat OCD. It's different from CBT or ERP because the CBT and ERP are more practical than Morita therapy, because there's procedures like developing a exposure hierarchy and things like that. So it has a very good guideline to how to use it. But for Morita therapy, you really need to understand what's going on here and try to develop your own theory about what Morita therapy is and what you can do to use it in your real life, because Morita therapy is not just for OCD, it's not just for all kinds of mental illnesses, it's also for dealing with your own daily life, dealing with stress, dealing with anxiety, dealing with nervousness, things like that. So it's always going to be useful to learn Morita therapy, and you can always learn every Tuesday on the Think Less Do More channel on YouTube. You should really subscribe to that channel if you find this course interesting, because from what I experienced here in the United States, for every 5 therapists I talk to, 3 of them have no idea about Morita therapy, which is really kind of sad, because we are focusing too much on the practical stuff. We are not figuring out what's really important here, which is how to live with your life and deal with stress using cognitive skills, instead of just trying to use really practical stuff. And you have to understand what Morita therapy is talking about. You have to understand what Mr. Shoma Morita was trying to convey here. And in order to do that, we'll stay tuned for the next lesson next week. And until then, please remember, if you want to see the transcript, which is really important for this course, because you can see a lot of information and things I talked about during the course, you can always go to our Facebook page, OCD Acceptance, and join the membership, and you get to receive the transcript before every lesson. And you can also just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Think Less Do More, and you will also get free video of the lessons. And until next time, I'll see you around, and this is pretty much it. So have a good time thinking about what we learned today, and I'll see you next time.